Here we go yet again, ladies and gentlemen. That's the ball game. Goose egg and 4. Translation 0 and 4. And offense couldn't even get in the end zone. Offense couldn't even get in the end zone. I can't with this team. I really can't. I can't. Hey, what's up, JT? We are the losers, my friend, and we will lose until draft time again. Gone is the winning, and we are the losers of the world. I mean, right now we're looking like the worst team in the league, to be honest with you. And honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if we went at least into the bye week winless, as in 0 and 6, at least. And it's just like I said before. Right now, all this team is just a few flashes here and there. I mean, we had the pick six, but that was pretty much it. The O line had a really bad breakdown, gave up 5 sacks, and also still undisciplined. Still very undisciplined. 6 penalties, 80 yards. I mean, you would have thought that Kirk Cousins had a bad game with the 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, only 139 yards passing. But Justin Jefferson, nah, he didn't get 100 yards receiving, but he still got 2 touchdowns. Still got 8 up on the running game, Cam Akers and Alexander Madison. I'm feeling in zero. Nah, I don't think we'll go the rest of the season winless. I won't say that. I won't say that. It's not impossible, but I won't say that. But Minnesota Vikings get their first win of the season against us, which makes 3 straight meetings that the Vikings have defeated the Panthers. 3 straight. Final score 21-13. Bryce Young, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but I mean, the strip sacks. I mean, that long fumble return for a touchdown pretty much screwed us over. The offense cannot get into the end zone. We get these drives going into the enemy territory, sometimes to the red zone, and we cannot punch it into the end zone. This offense, this is not going to cut it. This is not going to cut it. This offense is not going to cut it. Let's face it, y'all. This offense is terrible. I mean, the coaching, the execution, all of the above. This offense is straight terrible. You can't pin this on one person or one thing. The whole offense is terrible. The O line has had a major relapse. Bryce Young still struggling. Like I said, don't let him not throwing an interception fool you. He's still out there struggling. Receivers are still struggling. The play calling, like the offense as a whole. And like I said, the defense can get some highlights. I mean, the defense got 2 interceptions. One was a pick six, but the defense can only do but so much when the offense is not doing their part. And it's continuing to show that. And here we are, once again, game 4. Same results. Just ugh. It is not looking good, y'all. It is not looking good at all. Honestly, is like I said in a post that I made earlier. I'm not so sure we'll go into the bye week with a victory. I think it's more and more looking like we're probably going to be 0-6 going into the bye. Because we got the Lions and we got the Dolphins next. I mean, y'all, we suck. I mean, there's no other way to put it. We royally suck. We suck. This team sucks. There's really no other way to look at it, y'all. This team sucks. I feel like the only bright spot has mainly been the defense. But like I said, they can only do but so much. But and it just seems like it's going to get worse and worse and worse before there's even a glimmer of a chance for it to get better. At least that's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like. But we shall see. This is just great. Ugh. Anyway, let's go over some stats. Bryce Young finished 25 of 32, 204 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, got sacked 5 times. So a big lapse in the protection. Chuba Hubbard, 14 carries, 41 yards. Miles Sanders, 13 carries, 19 yards. Uh, Run game really couldn't get going. I mean, yeah, a little bit better than the previous game, but that's not saying a lot. Adam Thielen, against his old team, was the leading receiver, 7 catches, 76 yards. Terrace Marshall Jr. got in 9 catches, 56 yards. I mean, targeted 10 times and caught 9 of them, so not bad. Miles, 3 catches, 13 yards. Laviska, 1 catch, 12 yards. Chuba, 2 catches, 12 yards. Hayden Hurst, 1 catch, 7 yards. But yeah, that's all we really got out of the offense. That's all we got out of the offense. Then, there was the fumble from Bryce Young on the strip sack. And not only that, Harrison Smith got 3 of those 5 sacks. Yeah, that D line ate us up. Just really ate us up. Mr. Gemini says, I don't think Bryce is it. It's not just him, though. The whole offense looks bad. The coaching, the execution, like the play calling, all of the above. You can't single one person out. Can't single one person out. No, that's not fair. Can't single one person out. The whole offense looks like trash. I mean, Bryce is struggling. The O line's struggling. Receivers, the run game is struggling. The play calling, the whole offense looks like trash. The whole offense. We can't single this out on one player. Screen pass after screen pass. I mean, like I said, play calling, but that's only part of it. But right now, the whole offense looks like trash. We couldn't even get into the end zone. Even being near the goal line, we couldn't get into the end zone. Bryce didn't throw it over 20 yards. Well, here's the thing. He didn't really have a lot of good protection today. And, with this being his third game among others, I mean, when has he been able to throw the ball 20 yards or more? You got to look at all aspects of what's going on. You can't single out one person. Can't single out one person. because it's not just him that struggled. The whole offense struggled, Mr. Gemini. The whole offense struggled. And Miles is trash. Well, the whole run game couldn't get going, to be honest with you. I mean, Chuba did better. Definitely Chuba did better today, for sure. Chuba did much better today. I'll give him that. But I mean, 83 total yards. So run game really couldn't get going like we had hoped for. But the O line had a big relapse, a really big relapse. I think Ike Ekwonu might be dealing with a sophomore slump. I think he's suffering through a sophomore slump. But the whole offense looks bad. And the thing is, we had opportunities to really put points up in this game. You know, not just the pick six, but we had plenty of opportunities. I mean, honestly, going into halftime, we really should have been up 14-7. We should have been up 14-7. But Kirk Cousins, 12 of 19, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, sacked twice. Alexander Mattison, 17 carries, 95 yards. Cam Akers, 5 carries, 40 yards. So, like I said, struggled in stopping the run. Justin Jefferson, I mean, sure, 6 catches, 85 yards. He didn't get 100 yards, but still got 2 touchdowns. Still got 2 touchdowns. So,
What's going on, man?
hey, bro, welcome, welcome. Bro,
I am
this
so frustrated right now.
this offense isn't it. It isn't it.
It isn't. For real. Shout out to Andy Bailey on my Facebook page, on my Facebook chat. What's going on? I got
Like
that on yours.
like when you have the defense putting you in position and giving you opportunities and you get as far as to the goal line and still can't punch it in, something's wrong. Something
100% agree.
something is very wrong.
I just read off the numbers to my stream.
Oh, for real?
I mean, it's very disturbing numbers here.
Mr. Gemini says
Yeah.
if it
I'll
he Mr. Gemini says if it wasn't for that pick six, he only scores like 6 points today. I mean, you make a fair point, Mr. Gemini. You make a
yeah.
good point.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna start off with Iggy's PFF grade. You know I've got to blast him after that stupid nonsense, Matt. I'm a man of my
Yeah.
word. All right, so 216 snaps, tied for 13th in the league. Here's where things get bad. 6 penalties, and I'm not sure whether this is before this game or after, but
Mhm.
6 penalties, second in the league in penalties.
Ugh.
1 sack allowed, tied for 20th, which I'm sure he's tied up with a bunch of people that are just 1 sack. PFF grade 48.1.
Mm. Ouch. He's having a sophomore slump for
And they gave
sure.
Zavala a 0. They gave Zavala a 0 last week.
Mm. But yeah, Icky's
And he allowed 2 sacks today.
Yeah, Icky's definitely having a sophomore slump.
Yeah, let's not pretend it's just Icky though. Let's not pretend it's just Taylor Moton though.
Oh,
It's Zavala too.
oh, it's the whole O
To a
line.
point, you can excuse it for rookie stuff, but at what point do you say, okay, well, he's been in the game long enough, that the rookie stuff is out the window? At what point do you draw that line?
That's a good question. I mean,
All right,
it's
so
time.
okay, so team stats. Let's go over the most important numbers here that we need to go over.
Okay.
These are the ones I'm highlighting. All right, offensive plays. We ran 68 plays,
Oof.
gentlemen, for 232 total yards. That's almost as much as them. Yards per play. This is where it gets bad.
3.4.
3.4
Oh my God. 3.4?
versus their 6. This is why that system does not work. Because it relies on tempo, it relies on yards after the catch. If you don't have tempo, you're going to fail.
See, so it's not just Bryce.
If you do not control the tempo, you are screwed in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that right there shows that it's not just Bryce. I mean,
It's play calling.
3.4 yards average? Like,
It works for a little bit, and then once these players see it on, you know, on film, they're going to use it against you. They're going to start shutting it down. And the evidence of that was you had one or two players that were trying to jump routes, when we were throwing it behind the line of scrimmage.
mhm.
I mean, after that, by that point, they've seen this play about like 20 times. And they're like, no, we're not going to let you keep doing this. But after a certain point, why that was working for a while is because we had them blocked. We found a way to block those players, and then they found a way to get around those blocks
Mhm.
and started shutting us down again by sending an extra blitzer. So if you noticed how many times we ran the ball up the middle or attempted to run the ball up the middle, and this is where I'm moving into running backs. Um, there was about 6 to 8 people in the box
Yeah.
every single time. Um, Andy says I was afraid of that against the Vikings. Yep, true.
Yeah.
All right,
Stuart McDonald, welcome
so
welcome to
so
the
let's.
oh, I got a quick one. Stuart McDonald, welcome to the stream. He says, "Listen, man, they should have kept Dalton in the game. Bryce another Heisman bum." So, I'll say this, Stuart. At this point,
I don't think he's a Heisman bomb.
at this point, we have to make a decision. They have to either let Bryce play and let him, take his bumps and bruises and learn,
Let
or
him off the leash.
or they put in Andy Dalton and let, him, I guess, try to bring this season back. But one way or another, Bryce is going to have to learn at some point.
Facts.
So, I mean, y'all have to make up your mind. I mean, 3 games in, he hasn't turned over the ball as much, especially interception wise. But the fact of the matter is, they're going to have to make a decision. First round draft pick, if that's supposed to be the future, they either have to decide to sit him and let him learn, or they throw him in there, let him play the season, and take his bumps and bruises. I mean, what other choices are there?
All right, let me tell you why this is not Bryce. Let me show you another example of why this is not Bryce. Look at the numbers today. Now, granted, we were running a bunch of tempo screens,
Hmm.
but look at this. You're going to have a high percentage, which was 78% completed
Hmm.
for 149. That's typical of a RPO type, quick tempoed offense, and that number only goes up as you go along if you keep the tempo going. If you lose the tempo, that's what happens. You sit there at 149. You lose
Right.
the yardage. But look at his completion rating, 25 out of 32.
Right.
You're gonna you're gonna have a few passes here or there where he makes rookie mistakes, where he throws it behind a wide receiver, where you're supposed to throw it in front of one, and he got Thielen hurt because of it. That's a hospital pass.
Hmm.
Um, there's another situation where he was trying to hit, I think it was Ian Thomas in the end zone,
Yeah.
and you had a defender in front of him. Shake and bake, man. Move the move the tight end. You don't throw a 50-50 ball to a tight end versus a defender. The defender's going to win
Right.
more times than not. You've got to mix it up and move these guys around. And that's something he's going to have to learn as a rookie. But,
Yeah.
you know, granted, all of that is a factor here in that number. But look at all the completions.
And one and
Look
one
at all the
thing
ones that he found.
and one thing I will say, one thing I will give Bryce credit on, he is doing his best to not turn the ball over.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, we
exactly.
got to at least
The
point
one
that
time
out.
he did, that was on the offensive line. And I can tell you exactly who it was that did it. That was Chandler Zavala. He completely missed his block.
Right. And both of those interceptions came in the first game. Of course, Jesse Bates, but the man has done his best to not turn the ball over.
Yep.
Now, granted, he might not have as many touchdowns when this is all said and done, but the man is doing his best to not turn the ball over. So, I mean, got to give
And
him
I mean
that.
we're going into that game with the Vikings having 9 turnovers, and they only had one. We did a terrible job of forcing turnovers or
Um,
attempting to force turnovers. We
Mr.
didn't try to punch the ball out or nothing.
Right. Mr. Gemini says somebody's got to get fired, and most of his passes were screens. Of course, he's going to be 25 and 32. But whose fault is that? Is that him or play calling though, Mr. Gemini?
Exactly. And we know exactly who was calling the plays because they showed Frank just no 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 into the mic. You know it was him. The
Eh,
man was shouting straight paragraphs into the mic, and that's what took Bryce so long to set everything up. I mean, didn't we learn anything from the Matt Rule era on shortening the language?
Yeah,
Come on, man.
you definitely could see like Bryce had to do a lot of this. I don't think the communication's that great. I don't know. Maybe you see the same thing, but it's like he has to go like this, and it's like a lot of the snaps are like
Yeah,
maybe 2 to 1 seconds left.
yeah.
Like, I don't think the communication is consistent.
No, it's definitely not. Andy says, just face it, they look like the wrong. Stroud is 2-2 with Houston, and he has uh the record showed here today a career of 150 passing yards with a one interception so far and counting. That's his whole career so far.
CJ Stroud?
Um, yeah, he just broke a record.
Oh, dang, they whipped up on Pittsburgh 30-6.
Yeah, but I mean that's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh struggling. So we kind of continue on with this tour a little bit. With the passing yards per attempt, 4.7 versus their 6.8. But here's where the problem comes in. They got 10.8. We got six even
Mhm.
off our yards per completion. That's that's poor route management.
Right.
Okay, so the plays that we did call correctly, these guys were moving. They showed Thielen on like a flat route towards the sideline, and Bryce didn't even look at him, but he had him. All you had to do was throw that for the first down. Just
Right.
keep it in stride, throw it right in front of him towards the sideline. You get the first down. Easy flat route. But I mean, it's examples like that, that we're failing to take advantage of, on third
Mhm.
down situations, and it's like, okay, first route, it's like the old style play calling from the John Fox era. It's like draw play, ISO play. on first down, screenplay on second down. They'll start out with like 6 or 8 people in the box in the second down, and then they'll drop people back. And it's like, you'll think they're blitzing, but they're not. And it's obvious that they're dropping back into coverage. They're only rushing 4,
Hmm.
maybe 5 if they have an extra rusher.
And see,
And it goes around one of our offensive linemen.
that's
And the
another
third play, we force Bryce into a bad situation where he has to throw the ball.
right.
And he
I
can't do it because our offensive line fails yet again to block.
and that's what I want to talk about. Is it me or were there way too many free rushers in this game? Because
Way too many.
there were so many like free hits on Bryce where they would come in untouched.
You know which three
I mean
players to blame.
Harrison Smith had 3 sacks alone.
You know which 3 players to blame. It's not
Yeah,
rocket science.
yeah,
There
that
was
much.
one play in particular. Okay. Taylor Moton was standing there with nobody to block. We had a free rusher on the outside. Okay, what should have happened there? Taylor Moton should have picked up the guy that Cade Mays was blocking over there. And then Cade Mays should have picked up the free rusher. There should have been no free rusher whatsoever.
Hmm.
And yet Bryce takes the sack because there's nobody to pick him up. I mean, it's just these types of things need to stop. We have got to do better.
Just very undisciplined. Very
Very
undisciplined.
undisciplined. I'm very upset with that.
And it's just and it's frustrating because it's like, Bryce then has to rush. Like I remember the one play like he was trying to direct traffic and he was getting
Yeah,
rushed. I mean, it's surprising that he still had time to, throw the ball away, but it's just I mean,
yeah,
you can't expect him to move the ball downfield if he doesn't have the time
right.
to do so. And that's why, it's so many aspects that's failing in this offense. It's hard to single out, one thing or one person when all of it on offense is not coming together at all. Like, period.
6 penalties for 80 yards. And we can't even say the rest were biased this time. They were clean.
Not only that, I mean, just the fact that we got 2 interceptions. I mean, thankfully, one was a pick six. Shout out to Sam Franklin. But when you're getting takeaways and you can't convert them to points on offense, we got a huge problem. Like I said, the pick six was like the saving grace. But
He had a higher quarterback rating than Kirk Cousins did today.
yeah,
86.1, and Kirk Cousins was 78.7. Someone make this make sense.
and Kirk Cousins only had 139 yards passing, 19
Unbelievable.
passing attempts.
We shut down Jefferson. Putting Chen out there was brilliant. The
Yeah,
guy,
I mean, Jefferson did go
whoa,
under
whoa.
100. I mean, he still had the 2 touchdowns, but I mean,
Yeah,
we
I mean
kept
that's gonna happen against their corners though.
yeah, but we kept
The
him
way
under
his
under
numbers
100.
were racking up.
So that was good that we kept him under 100.
Eagles
But
game just went into overtime.
nice. But
Okay, so rushing game. Let's talk about the rushing game where
all right.
we ran the ball on every first down. Every first down. Okay, like the John Fox days. Oh yeah, it's great nostalgia, right? It's great nostalgia. We moved the ball down the field so well on first down, didn't we?
Well, I mean, one thing's for
Okay,
sure. At least
83 yards. Here's the yards per carry 2.7.
yeah,
2.7 versus their 5.9. We got half the rushing yards they did and more carries.
yep. 31.
31 carries, they had 23.
Yep.
Again, make this make sense. Come on, man.
And not only that, well, I guess you could say today that I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but Chuba did do better than Miles today.
He did. He did.
Um, but I don't know what it
I'm not
is.
quite ready to. I'm not quite ready to push Chuba up the depth chart though. Not
Like,
quite.
I don't know if it's just like the blocking or just the lack of
Yeah.
finding the holes or what, but this run game has not been able to get going.
It's because we keep running it on a stacked box. Every time we try to run a draw play, it's on a stacked box of 6 to 8 people, and we don't audible out of it. It's called an audible for a reason, folks. Come on, Frank. Have you never heard of that word? I mean, for goodness sakes, you worked with 3 great quarterbacks and you've never heard the word audible? Come on, bro. Come
Yeah.
on, bro. Seriously? All we have is screen passes to audible that out of that?
Yeah,
I
and
don't.
Bryce almost threw a pick on that one screen pass attempt on that third and a long goal, which I have no
Oh my
idea why
god.
that was even a play call. But
I don't either.
um and then the
We had
receipt
more first downs than they did, 20 to 14.
yeah. Um
Our third down percentage was better than theirs. 36% to their 13%. Five
yeah,
for 14. It's still bad, really bad. But
like I said, I
fourth
feel
down percentage, 67% to their 50. 2 out of 3.
yeah.
Red zone percentage. Here's where we got a problem. 0 for 2. 0 for 2 in the red zone.
Yeah, that's a huge problem. Yeah. And
That goose egg right there is bad.
not to mention one of those attempts was after an interception.
That's really bad. And we had the ball for 38 minutes, guys. Think about that. We had the ball for 38 minutes. And this is all we could do with it? Pathetic.
And shout out to Camus on the tip drill. Good stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Picking that
Yep.
off. So good
Yep.
hands
Big
from
job.
Camus. But yeah, 38 minutes and 29 seconds to their 21 minutes 31 seconds. I mean, we almost had twice the time of possession that they did. And still, the only touchdown we got was a defensive pick six. That's not good.
Bryce outplayed Kirk Cousins. I mean, let's keep it a buck. He did
Like,
on
wow.
just screenplays alone. That's how bad Kirk Cousins was playing today, and we could not take advantage.
Super Trebo, welcome to the stream. He says, "Hey, how's it going, Jason? How are y'all? I hate to say it, but Panthers might only win 1 to 2 games, if that, and get no first round pick talk about a horrible situation." Ugh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like I was saying in one of my posts. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we went into the bye 0-6. I hate to say it.
Here's the worst number. They got 5 sacks on us.
Yeah, 5,
5.
and 3 of them were from Harrison Smith.
Now let's talk about the good with Bryce Young, though. Did you see when he was throwing it downfield how quick that ball was coming out of his hands? That's what I've been looking at all training camp and preseason right there. That's what I want to see more of.
Hmm.
Even with that stack blitz coming at him, it was
Yeah,
still zip, zip, zip. That's what I need to see out of Bryce. If they would just unleash his playbook and let the dog off the leash and let this man cook, man, you would see that all game long,
right.
and you'd see points out of it. But no, Frank says, nah, I'm not going to do that. He's still a rookie. Quit treating him like a rookie. He's 3 times smarter than a rookie, than your average rookie. Well,
I,
if he is, then treat him like he's 3 times smarter than an average rookie.
and that's the thing, especially if he's supposed to be the number one, then they need to let him go out there, take some risk, and let it fly, see what
And
he can
prove
do.
it.
Because I mean, and
Yeah,
and
let
it
him prove
may
it.
and it may equal us not winning a lot of games or not making the playoffs. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
Oh, ouch. I'm just watching Washington wide receiver like step on the arm of a Eagles corner.
oh,
Ouch. With
ow,
the cleats.
and you know that hurts.
Oh my god. I
But
can't imagine that pain.
uh,
Mm.
how do you feel about the receiving game?
I feel like the receiving game did pretty well today. They were running halfway decent routes. But again, what was their secondary ranked? What was the Vikings secondary ranked?
What was the Vikings secondary rank? If I remember
Yeah,
correctly, it was somewhere in the 20s. Let me
yeah, yeah.
let me pull it up because
See, that makes a difference
it was very specific. Yeah, let me pull it up.
because their corners were not that great. Let's be real, and their linebacking core needs help.
Right. Where the Oh, here it is.
Ooh,
Their their passing net yards passing allowed per game tied for 25th.
oof. See, that's going to make our wide receivers look good, better than they are with this playbook.
Yeah, but
Oh, it was McLaurin that stepped on the Eagles player's arm.
oh. Um
Ouch.
but yeah, Thielen, was their lead receiver, 7 catches, 76 yards. Terrace Marshall Jr., 9 catches, 56 yards. He was targeted 10 times and caught 9 passes. That's actually, you know, that's a little bit of progress. I mean, it was good to see him targeted. He was targeted the most in this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the wide receivers look good. Um,
Chart
they were
should
getting
have gotten
open.
more targets though. He only had
I
3
agree.
targets. Like, ugh. But yeah, just I mean, Justin Jefferson got his, but everybody else in the passing game, like I said, I mean, the passing game, aside from Justin Jefferson,
Mm,
Vikings didn't really do that much because I mean, we had the 2 interceptions.
right. We didn't
So,
force them to turn the ball over, you
so if
know?
so if anything, really feel like we beat ourselves.
Again,
So, I mean, but
as
really,
usual. And I mean, it's a repetitive problem. Um, yeah, someone in my chat said it. You know, our defense plays well. Our offense comes out there, doesn't do well, puts everything on the defense to try to win the game. The offense comes back at the last second, fails, and it's too little, too late, and you're down another loss. Meanwhile, you got offensive line penalties galore, and we can't run on the ball. We can't
right.
run the ball at all, and they're just determined to force the run game down the opponent's throats, and it's not working because they keep stacking the box.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just obvious when we're going to call it and how. Mix it up. You got to mix up the play call. You got to get the attention off of Hurts, get the attention off of whoever you're going to throw to, so that you can get those targets in.
agreed. Definitely
Because there was
agreed.
one play in particular, that they set up a a short pass to Hurts, and
Hmm.
nobody was even looking at Hurts. Why was nobody looking at Hurts? Because they already set it up the play before by taking his eyes off the defender's eyes off of Hurts. No one was even looking at. No one cared about Hurts. He was not a playmaker before that in the drive. So of course
Hmm.
we had him wide open and we hit him for a first down.
Right.
That's the type of stuff that we need to start doing. We need to start adapting like that. If we don't start adapting like that, we're going to be one dimensional.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just going to be
And
screen, 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 and
and
more screen.
and one dimensional is not going to cut it. I can't
Watch.
believe I'm saying this, but right now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lead the NFC South.
Yeah, they do.
They just whipped up on the Saints. Jacksonville whipped up on the Falcons.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I saw that this morning. I was tracking that before I started getting into other things. Um,
Buffalo beat Miami. Oh, Denver beat Chicago.
yep. So Chicago continues to be the joke of the league.
Oh, but get this. Okay, Justin Fields actually did a little something something. 28 of 35, 335 yards, 4 touchdown and a pick.
I mean, anybody could do that against Denver's defense after what Miami just did to them last week.
That is a fair point. That is a fair point. I totally forgot about that. I totally
That's
forgot about
overinflated
that.
numbers. That's overinflated numbers. Against a decent defense, he throws about 200, 200, 250, somewhere around that range.
And oh,
Low than
DJ
everybody else.
Moore. DJ Moore, 8 catches, 131 yards, and a touchdown. They finally got DJ Moore going. He got targeted 9 times. It's about time.
See, what did we learn today, Bears fans? What did we learn? Get DJ Moore involved. He is your number one wide receiver for a reason. He got traded to you for a reason.
And, and,
Use him.
and look how many yards he averaged 16.4.
DJ's gonna DJ, man. DJ's gonna DJ. You got to get him the ball. He can't do anything. He can't be DJ if you don't get him the ball,
Yeah, I mean that's his main game is
regardless of
yak.
who the quarterback is. He's still got to be DJ.
He's still the yak man, so treat him like the
Yeah,
yak man.
exactly. Oh my God, he would have lit up with this offense.
Shoot, why do y'all
No
think? Why do
question.
y'all
He
think
would have
we
lit up
miss?
with this offense to get him the ball,
Why do y'all think we miss him so badly right now?
especially when that whole offense that we were running today was just yak.
Yeah, and you know DJ's gonna break at least a tackle or two,
Yeah.
but just like the Bears, both of us 0-4.
With that type of offense, you have to go tempo, 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 tempo. You know, it's like hurry up offense, hurry up offense, hurry up offense. Keep the tempo going. Keep the defense unrested. Keep them frustrated. Keep them, you know, moving on the field to where they can't figure out where they need to be set at. And the more you do that, the harder it becomes for them to get set up. And the more tired they
Right,
become, and the more you can take advantage. And the more you win the line on the trenches.
exactly.
And it just becomes worse and worse and worse for the defense. You just have to snowball it. And if you lose that momentum at any point in the NFL,
Whoa,
take full advantage of it.
yo, check this out. I just came across a tweet. You will not believe this. Shout out to
What?
the 4-man rush. He says Frank Reich called a play for Adam Thielen, then realized Thielen wasn't in the game, so he had to call a timeout. I can't tell if that's real or if that's trolling, but if that's real, that is sad.
Oh, there's no way.
That's got to be a troll job.
There's got to be a troll.
If that's
I'm
real,
with you.
then oh my god, we are in serious trouble, bro.
Yeah, we are.
Wow.
That is hilarious.
Wow. Wow.
Oh my God, Frank needs to go. He needs to go. It's so bad.
I pray to God that's a troll comment.
Oh, me too. Me
If
too.
not, then we
That
are
better be
in
fake.
some deep dookie.
I can't.
Wow.
I
Like
can't.
like honestly, I don't even know if I would have owned up to something like that.
Uh, Frank, Frank,
Oh
please,
man.
Frank, please. What are you gonna do us like this? What are you gonna do us like this, bro? All you can do
Oh
is just
man.
laugh now. Honestly.
You know what? Lock Poppy's comment. What's up, Poppy? Says should have kept Wilkes. You
Oh,
know what? That's starting to sound a lot more sensible. Dang.
oh, game-winning field goal, Eagles.
Oh, the Eagles pulled it off.
Game-winning field goal.
Dang, still undefeated.
Ooh.
But wow. That's wow. I've
I
lost for
can't.
words. I'm lost for
I
words.
don't even know how to process that. I don't even know how to process that, bro. I'm just. I don't know.
Honestly, him after saying that, he might as well just pass the clipboard over.
Please,
Like
please do.
immediately.
Please. I've been praying
Immediately.
for it since the beginning of the season,
Like
and
it's
I still haven't got my prayers answered yet.
yeah, it's time to pass the
It's
clipboard
horrendous.
over.
He's so stubborn, bro.
Wow.
He'll never do it. He'll never do it. And like the numbers that we just read, it's not Bryce. Bryce can survive in any system you put him in. His numbers prove that. He just put up 232 yards against a 20th ranked defense. That proves that he can do this. Okay? Open the playbook. Let the man cook. If you open the playbook, this man gets about 260, 270 yards. And that average per play goes up. And if our offensive line would actually do their stupid jobs, man, you got one job, and it's block. One job, one job, literally.
Oh
And you can't seem
man.
to figure out how to do it right. You're getting paid millions of dollars for 2 years now, and you can't seem to figure out how to get it done. I'm getting tired of Icky, man. I literally had to call this dude out on stream and read off his PFF grade and his history. I had to do that. I'm a man of my word. I did it.
Oh man. That
I
just
said if this man is going to ruin this game, I'm going to call him out. I'm going to do that for every offensive lineman that screws up our games from here on. Mark my words. Y'all are getting your PFF grades read.
so I'm looking at the thread of his post
Game.
game conference, and yeah, he really did say that. I called a play for Thielen, but he wasn't in the game. Wow. Wow, it's been confirmed. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Why do we entertain this week after week? Why? Oh my god, it hurts. The stupid it hurts. It hurts.
I'm
It
sorry,
hurts real good.
but I don't think a statement like that. I'm not so sure if he's worthy to keep his job. To be honest with you, bro, I got to keep it real.
He needs to go. He needs
That
to go.
that's bad.
I'm done
That
with Frank. I'm officially done. He's run out of rope. He has
like
run out of rope with me.
you're supposed to be number one. You're supposed to be the head coach. Number two, you're calling the
Trash.
plays, and number three, you mean to tell me that you called a play for a particular player that you did not realize at the time was in the game. Wow. Wow.
I mean, at this point, it's just laughable. It really is. It's so bad, it's laughable. How are you that bad?
Like I feel dumbfounded. I feel like a legit fool right now, bro. I'm not even going to kid you. I feel like a legit fool.
I can't believe I supported this man.
Wow.
I can't believe threw in my support for this dude. I cannot believe I did it.
Lock Poppy says
I'm embarrassed.
Wilkes is someone players want to play for, especially here in Carolina, which they have voiced that. They have voiced that before. I mean, Shaq was example, among many others. But wow.
And whose number one defense is still number one?
Oh yeah, over there in San Fran where he's coaching the defense.
He's not even a head coach. He's still a defensive coordinator.
But dude, that comment is gonna bother me probably for like the rest of the day. I'm not even gonna kid you. Like,
Dude, it's time for you to take over, bro. It's time. Force him out. I'm done. Force him out.
wow. He called a play for a player and then totally forgot that he wasn't even in the game for said play. Wow. Like I legit read that. Thought it was a troll and then confirmed it.
It's real. It's real.
Wow.
I I don't even know what to do with this team anymore. I don't coaching has been the source of every problem we've ever had.
Dude, I feel like I just got my heart broken. Like,
I I, I had the most oh my gosh. Oh, I think I just lost brain cells just listening to
wow. Like,
that. Brain cells I might actually need later on. Jeez.
was there ever a time in your life where you felt just so dumbfounded? You find it kind of hard to like shake off for a
Yeah.
while. That
Yeah.
that's how I'm feeling right now. That is legit how I'm feeling right now after that comment.
I don't blame you.
Like,
Carl says I really think Bryce is making progress. It's just penalties and poor production to go along with poor play calling. Well, it's not poor production if you don't have the play calling. So I mean, those two go hand in hand. If you don't have both, of course, one's going to affect the other.
B Rider, welcome to the stream. 0-6 might as well. Honestly, bro, you might as well be
How about
right.
0-9?
You might as well be right, B Rider. I mean,
You're 0-6, 0-9.
this team is being
Overhead.
coached by somebody that calls plays and doesn't realize who the personnel is for the play. Uh,
I don't even think Matt Rule was that bad.
he was bad, but he wasn't
Yeah,
that
not that.
bad.
Yeah,
But then again, he wasn't calling plays, but still.
right.
Wow.
Thank God. It would be even worse if he was calling plays. Can you imagine? Bro,
Wow.
I don't think I've ever seen him look that dumbfounded, folks. This is new. This is new for me too. This is gonna stay with him all week.
Just. So let me ask you this.
CMC just got a touchdown, by the way.
Who did?
CMC.
Uh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So let's play hypothetical. Say we do fire
Okay.
Frank Reich. Who takes
Yep.
over as interim?
Deuce Staley. Because he's assistant coach, right?
Yes, he is. Deuce? I'd be okay
Whose
with that.
name are we throwing into the hat at the end of the year, though, for head coach? Because Ajaro won't be here after this, most likely. That's what they're saying.
Oh, really?
I vote he gets a name in the hat.
Yeah. I mean, he's doing his part. I mean, the defense is doing their
Where are we
best.
ranked right now after this game defensively?
Uh, oof. That I'm not sure.
Or have they put out the rankings yet?
I don't think they've put out the rankings yet. We went into this
Uh,
13th. Um,
okay,
but I mean, it's probably gonna stay similar, I would think.
12 or 13.
Yeah, maybe 14, but I think it'll still be similar.
Yeah, we only gave up 21 points. So, I mean, that's really good still.
And B Ryder reminded us,
And
no first round draft pick, guys. Yeah, don't remind us.
even if we do go over, we're still not doing any favors for ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
We might have a higher round pick in the second, third on down, but that, you know, at what point does that help us? Because we still have to pay all that money back in restructuring at some point down the road. Because we're in win now mode, you know? We paid $70 million. We got to win now, and we're not doing it. Somebody's got to go.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely somebody's got to go.
And knowing the coaching staff, they're going to look right at Brandon Smith, yeah, our offense coordinator. Sorry, I keep forgetting his name.
Thomas Brown.
Yeah, Thomas Brown. But they're going to look right at him, and he didn't even do anything wrong. He's going to be the scapegoat. Watch. He's going to be the one they fire. Mark my words, because our management has a history of doing that and using scapegoats and firing the wrong people. And Thomas Brown will go somewhere else. He'll become an offensive coordinator or a head coach somewhere, and he'll absolutely tear up the league. Watch what I'm telling y'all. We have a bad history of doing that.
Yeah, that we do.
Look at
That.
McDermott up in Buffalo.
Yep.
I mean, come on, man.
B Ryder says, I'm so tired of rebuilding. At some point, we got to stick with somebody to improve. Yeah, the rebuilding game keeps getting old and old.
And while we're on the subject of Frank, the clock management was awful
Oh,
around the
yes,
time.
very much so.
That is a huge pet peeve of mine. That's three head coaches now. Three head coaches that cannot figure out clock management. There's something very, very wrong here. Three in a row.
Yep. And not to mention, we get so close, red zone or in their territory, penalty, penalty. And it just makes it harder for us.
Like, why do we keep doing this to ourselves? I don't understand. Why do we keep doing this to ourselves?
But
There's no logic here.
But it just makes no sense to draft a quarterback number one and you're subjecting him to handoff, screen, screen, screen.
Take off the training wheels, guys. He just showed you today he can handle screenplays and basic RPO type offenses. So if he can handle that, Why can't he handle anything else that you throw at him? Either you believe in his intelligence or you don't. If you don't put him at number one. Put Andy Dalton at number one. Save the season somehow. I mean, do
Yeah,
you guys care about winning, Frank? Do you care about winning, Frank? Because apparently, this is not showing anybody that you care about winning. The lack of a challenge flag last week shows us that you're not even going to defend your team
yeah.
in
Oh,
a critical
on that
situation.
fourth and short. Oh yeah, that clearly.
So, so that's two major strikes against you where you just don't seem to care.
Yeah.
And then your
Um.
play calling shows that that's strike three. You're out of here.
Lee Trotter, welcome to the stream. He says we need to hurry up and fire Fit before he does something stupid and
It's
costs
not
us more
Fitterer.
picks.
Fitterer hasn't even made a move, bro. What move has Fitterer made all week? What move has Fitterer made all week? Tell me, because I haven't seen one. Thank you. He's
there,
sitting on our talent. You don't pay $70 million and then make several more moves that you don't need to make. I mean, that's what everybody else does at GM. Scott's sitting on the $70 million, knows he has talent here, knows he has potential here, you know, and this coaching staff just doesn't get anything out of it.
I've been hearing that supposedly Carolina might be in the running to try to trade for a wide receiver, but it's just a
Who are you
rumor.
going to trade for that's going to make any difference here than what we already have?
I have no idea, but
Even
that's
okay, hypothetically, let's say we trade for Jerry Judy, right? Because that's
mhm,
one of them I was hearing, or T Higgins. Okay, T Higgins, yes, I know he has the skill. So does Jerry Judy.
yeah.
But what happens if you don't throw it to them? They don't get yards. Therefore, we don't move the ball.
Yeah, cuz I
If
mean,
you don't call the correct plays to put them in good positions to move the ball, they're going to give you a third of the yards that they were giving you in other teams.
yeah,
It's that simple.
cuz I don't think Chark has been targeted
What
much.
what wide receiver will come in here and do any good right now in this playbook? What name a wide receiver in the league? You could bring Randy Moss back from retirement at his prime, and he still wouldn't be able to do anything. Steve Smith would not be able to do anything. That man would audible out of these routes. He would make his own routes. That's how bad this is. Because he would be that pissed off that he was not getting the ball. Tell me I'm wrong. Steve, Agent 89, I want to hear your response to that because I know you would get pissed off by if you weren't getting the ball, bro.
Oh, I'm
I know
sure
you
he's
would.
got tons to say.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I
uh
want to. I want to see a short on that, please.
Lee
I love you,
says
Steve.
that Fitterer
That's the Agent 89, man.
Lee says that he could make a move if he thinks his job's on the line.
His job ain't on the line, and everybody knows it. Tepper likes him, and rightfully so. He's done everything he was supposed to do as a GM to ensure our success. Like, there's nothing more he could have done. Everybody that was available that was talented, he picked them up, and he gave us depth. What more do you want him to do? Juggle balls for you?
hmm
I mean, come on. This isn't the Barnum Bailey circus here. He literally saved us from the depths of the bottom of the league when Matt Rule was here, and now you and gives us a $70 million roster, a brand new shiny quarterback who is extremely talented, by the way.
Right.
He's not been let off the leash. What more do you want him to do? He's given you every tool in the shed to fix your car,
Yeah.
which you can't fix. You can't fix anything if you don't know anything about cars, Frank.
True. Lee Trotter says, I agree with you about Dalton. We saw it last week when Reich let him sling it 50 plus times. Mr. Gemini says, YGM is better than Burns right now. Yeah, Burns has been kind of quiet.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe he's been facing some really good offensive linemen. I mean, that's been my theory, but I mean, that's a really outside of the box theory, and it's a real stretch. At this
Um, Kevin McFarland, welcome to the stream. He says, hello, I'm just going to say this. Bryce Young is nervous to play, and that's because of the parts around him. I mean, he got sacked 5 times, and he got pressured a lot. And the O line really is struggling to help him out as much as, the weapons and such. So, I mean,
and that's the other issue I've got is why do we have guys that were successful during the Steve Wilkes era now failing under Frank's era with a better offensive line coach, with a better uh, depth behind them, and they're failing. Explain this logic to me because I don't understand what's going on here. Icky, Taylor, what is going on? Now I saw flashes of Taylor screwing up last year, but I did not see anything with Icky.
mhm.
So I've got questions about Taylor already. But Icky, where did this come from? Like, since when do you start screwing up like that? And I mean, every once in a blue moon, he would have a bad play, but I mean, that's every offensive lineman that's been a rookie ever since they've come into the league. Like, name
um,
one that hasn't had one, in
that
consecutive games.
that is fair. That is fair.
So
Um,
that's why I'm kind of letting Zavala off the hook a little bit, but not too much. At some point, you got to let him take the the brunt of it too for his mistakes.
Kevin says I would be scared to play also because you can get hurt in football, especially as quarterback when you get sacked. Bryce will calm down soon. Um,
This is exactly what I was concerned about when I was discussing with people why the debate on Bryce Young versus C.J. Stroud when we were trying to draft him, and I said I'm okay with Bryce Young as long as he stays upright. You know, if he gets hurt because of his offensive line and gets put on the IR, what's the backup plan? Oh, Andy Dalton, who was struggling during preseason and training camp? That's not an answer. And Jake just went to the Saints. So what's your backup plan?
yeah,
The
eh,
Panthers don't have one. Frank
we
does
don't
not
have
have
one.
one.
We
Frank does
definitely.
not have one. This is Frank's offense. He should have a backup plan, and he doesn't. It's embarrassing.
Um,
Okay, so let's play devil's advocate and say we drafted CJ Stroud under this. Same thing would happen. CJ Stroud would get hurt 6 to 8 weeks because our offensive line isn't getting it done.
yeah.
What's the similarity here? The offensive line, not the quarterback, the offensive line. Think, people.
Um, Mr. Gemini says there was a lot of purple in the stands too, but at least there wasn't eight
I
fault.
didn't like that either.
Yeah, but at least there wasn't 8 false starts today. Bryce looked a little shot,
Yeah.
took a shot today. I thought he was hurt. Oh yeah, I remember that one
Mm-hmm.
play blown dead. The dude still went full
Mm-hmm.
force and clocked him.
Yeah, that should have been a roughing the passer penalty. Why was that not thrown? Oh yeah. Does anybody remember when Cam Newton uh had roughing the passer and no referee would call it? You remember what that referee said?
He's big. He can handle it.
Oh no 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 no. He said you're too young to get this call.
Oh, too
What
young
does
to get this
age have to
call.
do with it, bro? The dude had been in the league for what, 3 years? What does age have to do with it?
Yeah.
Call the rep, call the flag. You are sworn to obey the NFL rules in the rule book. You have to do it. That's why you're a referee. Otherwise, what are you doing on the field? You're a glorified cowboy at that point.
Yeah. That,
Do
that's
your
a
job
that's a good
correctly,
way to
please.
break it down. Um
Do your job correctly, please, or get off the field.
Oh, Mr. Gemini said not that play, the play where he scrambled and ran a and got hit by two players.
Oh. Well, at that point, he's a running back. Because if you start scrambling, you're a running back,
Oh
basically.
yeah, the on that
You're
scramble.
regarded as that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought he took a shot as well. I know what play you're talking about, Mr.
Mm,
Gemini. Yeah,
yeah.
that was pretty rough. Lee
I was
says,
more concerned about that Thielen hit, with the shoulder pad pop,
"Oh yeah,
you know. At first glance, in real speed, it looked like a helmet to helmet uh graze, at the
right,
side. But when you slow it down, it was a shoulder pop, so it was legal.
yeah, it was definitely
But I was
legal."
worried about Thielen's shoulder though, because he's had a history of injuries.
Lee says, "Only thing I got last year, we was a power running scheme. This year, we're more of a finesse running scheme, and we ain't got the O line for it." That's arguable. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
arguable.
that's debatable. Mhm.
Um, Kevin says, I think the reason why we struggle is because we never keep the same parts. You can't have greatness without consistency. Yeah, agreed.
True.
Agreed.
True.
Chef 85, welcome to the stream. He says, facts. Ooh, this is an interesting question. At what point do we fire James Campen, the O line coach, and Fit can go with him?
No, Fit can stay. Fit gave you every tool in the tool belt to get the job done. Fit's not the problem. Camping is not the problem either, because the first time we had a horrible offensive line issues after that Falcons game, he immediately called it an offensive line meeting.
And not only that, we haven't had
Painless.
we haven't had our O line at full strength yet this season.
Right.
That's
They're
that's
not all
another
healthy.
thing. That's another thing to point out. I mean, I'm not making excuses for him, but the O
Right.
line hasn't been at full strength since the start of this season. So,
He's got a good
yeah,
crutch there to
I,
stand on.
I mean, I don't know. Like you plug Austin Corbett back in there.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see, but yeah, I don't know. That's arguable, but we haven't had a fully healthy O line entering into the season. Chef 85 says Fit is a bum. LMAO. Bye. Dang.
No, he's not. I respect your opinion, but I disagree. I completely disagree.
My thing is, at what point, like, what overlaps the other, execution or the assignment of talent? I mean, because the thing is, the
These are the
talent.
people that are unhappy no matter what wide receivers or what talent you bring in.
Because the
You could
thing.
have the best, you could have a Pro Bowl roster full of stars and studs, and they would still say, "Oh, they're all bums." It's like, really?
I mean, I
These are
I
the people that don't do their homework, man.
I honestly think it just comes down to we got some guys that were successful elsewhere, and it's right now it's not working. Right now
Right,
it's not working. That's how I look at it. But the
right.
guys that were picked up have been successful elsewhere before coming to us in some way, shape, or form. I mean,
Yeah,
Chart goes all the way back to Jacksonville,
yep,
Thielen, Minnesota. I
yep,
mean, Hayden Hurst. I mean, Hayden Hurst played in a Super Bowl. So I
yep.
mean,
With the Bengals.
I think it just the
This
execution.
isn't the same old recycled garbage that we keep picking up. When we had Hurnley, but or Gettleman. This
Um,
is these are talented players.
yeah, agreed, agreed.
And what I'm asking for people to do is to look up their numbers and respect them for who they are. Not for what they've shown this year. Respect them for who they are. Because I feel like y'all are just throwing them under the bus just to throw them under the bus because you need a scapegoat for us losing. And that's not acceptable.
I mean, I'll
It's
use
not.
I'll use an older example. Keyshawn Johnson,
Yeah.
excellent at Tampa Bay. I mean, what did he really do in Carolina compared to Tampa Bay? I mean,
I was actually having that conversation on my stream while I was reacting to the game. Name a former player that we have let go that we picked up beforehand that became a stud afterwards. There's a long list, bro.
Yeah, that is a
There's a
pretty
long
long
list,
list.
and it's what does that show you? They were already studs before they came here. They failed here because why coaching, and then they go somewhere else and they become studs again. It's like we're a speed bump in their career because of our coaching,
Um,
and it happens over and over and over again. And every time we get burnt by them, every time we let go of them, Obata, Curtis Samuel. I mean, the list just goes on down the list. It's just insane. Even the kicker, our former kicker, Gano, burned us
yep, this is true.
in a Giants game.
This is true.
Come on, man. What, at what
Um,
point are we going to get a clue?
let's see. Kevin McFarland says Bryce Young just looks like looks shell shocked, in my opinion. Lee Trotter says not keeping Foreman was a mistake. He was perfect for us. Sanders signing has been bad. Yeah,
I'm
since
not ready to jump ship.
yeah, Sanders has been struggling. I was kind of surprised we didn't keep Foreman. But yeah. Um,
Sanders can't be successful if you're running him into a 6 to 8 man box constantly.
um,
What else do you want him to do?
I would like to
Run
see
circles
more sweeps
on
and
the field and
tosses.
expect to get yards counted?
Um, Vietnam, welcome to the stream. He says, Chuba was balling out today. Sanders was slow and barely got out of the backfield. And what does it matter what the numbers show from the past? Well, I mean, it definitely does matter.
It does matter.
I mean,
It shows you who they were
think about it.
and who they can still be.
Think about it like this, Vietnam. Like when you're applying for a job, I mean, doesn't past experience and what you've been able to do matter? You know what I mean? Like that adds
Analogy.
up. Like that adds up. So yeah,
Yeah.
those past numbers do matter, especially, if you've been to
Yeah.
the big dance and you've won the big dance. I mean, those are going to be taken into consideration. I mean, what you've been able to do out there, yeah, those numbers matter.
Yeah.
Um Kevin says the question is our long list of quarterbacks might have been better on different teams. Uh, well,
I know
can't
Baker Mayfield was.
Baker Mayfield, yeah.
If you
Cam,
look at his history with
nah,
the Browns, oh yeah, it was great.
yeah. Um, Lee says I think Sanders may still be injured. He has looked awful. Interesting. Perhaps.
You have to put the right quarterbacks with the right systems, though. If you don't, it's going to be a disaster. Look at Russell Wilson in Denver.
Uh, let's see. Vietnam says I can admit that I was wrong about Bryce. He has the brain to play at an elite level, but not the body or fire to lead a team. Uh, he doesn't have it yet. I really feel like Vietnam. They need to let him loose. I mean,
Yeah.
take the risks. You know, let him have the growing pains. Let him sling it out there. Let him learn and
Mm-hmm.
just go from there. And that's really the best that I feel like that can happen for him. Especially if this does get to a situation where we know for sure, season's out of reach and such, then I mean, that's really the time to really evaluate him. So I do agree with you on that. He also says, yes, past experience matters, but that doesn't mean that you're as good as you used to be. I mean, but bro,
Yeah, but these guys are getting paid millions of dollars for a reason.
that's the thing. I mean, what else do you have the bank on though? I mean,
If you're talking about Miles Sanders, then like, how do you expect him to do anything when it's a 6 to 8 man box every time we try to run the ball?
and
They know what we're doing.
not only that, you won't know if you're as good as you used to be until you go out there on that field and play. I mean, you won't know
No.
if you're as good as you used to be until you go out there and try. You know what I mean? Like,
And this is why I had such a frustration with Troy Hill not playing in that third preseason game. We just paid like $1.2 million for this man, and you don't even know if he's still over the hill, whether he can play or not. You don't know until you play him. Perfect example right there.
yeah.
And that's Frank.
Um,
Frank could have played him.
oh, he
That was
most
his depth
definitely could
chart.
have. I also on one of those plays, I have no idea why the heck they had C.J. Henderson guarding Justin Jefferson, but mm.
Yeah, whose bright idea was that?
Kevin says the interception was amazing. That was a highlight. That was pretty
Yeah,
much
that
the
was
the, the
beautiful.
main highlight. Salute to you, Sam Franklin Jr.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, Vietnam says if that is the case, why haven't we signed Norwell yet? He has past numbers that suggest that he's good, but he's still
Thank
unsigned.
you.
We want him to be. We want him to be
Thank
signed.
you.
I would love for him to be signed.
Thank
I would
you.
welcome it with open arms, Vietnam. I would welcome it with open arms. I would
Yes.
love for them to like
Absolutely.
tomorrow do it.
Absolutely.
Shoot, I wouldn't hesitate. I would bring him on like that. Shoot.
I mean, I think there might have been a little bit of fear because Trey Turner got injured right after he got signed. But I mean, don't let that deter you.
Yeah,
Noah's still talented, man.
we we
He's still
can't
got it.
we can't let fear deter us. I mean it's
No,
going to be a risk. It's going to be a risk
no,
regardless. We got to go in.
no.
Vietnam says, yeah, that pick was beautiful. Yeah, I mean, Sam read it just perfectly. Um, definitely had the speed. I was really impressed with his speed.
Yeah.
Like that was very impressive. But it's definitely showing because, like I said, Sam Franklin had a good training camp, and it's showing that little by little he's starting to evolve more to the point where he can be a starter and not just a special teamer. Kind of similar to the path that
Yeah.
Frankie has been on, but
Yeah.
once again, defense got two turnovers. One was a pick six, and we couldn't capitalize after the Camus pick.
Right.
So, I mean, like I said, Coach Ajaro, he's doing his thing with that defense
Mm-hmm.
as best as he can, and it's been showing. Especially, I mean, Minnesota was 1 for 8 on third downs. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
defense has been able to get off the field, but offense hasn't been able to do their part. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and then we got the Lions and the Dolphins next. Like, I'm a little bit more nervous for the defense, but for the offense and oh, Vietnam. Did you hear about Frank Reich's comment, Vietnam, in the press conference? Were you on to hear that? Let me know, because I legit thought this was a troll post, but then I looked at the thread for Frank Wright's post game press conference, and it was confirmed true. Check this out, Vietnam. This man said that he had called one of the plays he called was specifically for Adam Thielen, and then he didn't realize until like last minute or whatnot that he wasn't on the field. Who does that? Who does that? This man literally said, I called a play for Adam Thielen and I didn't realize it until last minute that he wasn't on the field in the game. Like, what? Like, that's the coach we have, y'all. That is our head coach. That is our head coach, y'all.
I don't. This is unbelievable. Fire Frank Wright. Fire Frank Wright.
Vietnam says, no, I was playing Series X. Oh, you have a Series X? I do too. Dang.
Yeah.
A coach who clearly has no idea of his personnel. Yep.
Yep.
And we
Yep.
just saw evidence. Evidence is
Yep.
right there.
Yep.
And
He
if
has
any
no idea how to read talent.
and
That's clear because of his depth chart.
if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, check out the post game press conference from Frank Reich.
That's been proven several times too.
Wow. But yeah, ladies and
Can't
gentlemen,
evaluate talent. Doesn't know what his personnel is. Poor clock management. Poor play calling. I mean, that's the recipe for disaster.
like we
You're
done
not
got
going to last long.
fooled by this head coach. Oh man.
We got absolutely fooled.
Like I said, he needs to pass the clipboard. Pass the clipboard.
Please do. For goodness sakes, man. Please do. Like, I could run those screen passes in my sleep and
I,
do a better job than that right there
I mean,
with
I
Bryce.
I mean, I could see if I was playing Madden and I had it on rookie difficulty and ran jailbreak screen over and over. That's one thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But oh man.
Do you feel like he just had like a Series X controller in his hand and he's just like click, 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 click. Yep, we're gonna run this again. We're gonna run this again. We're gonna run this again. And it's just
My thing is,
I
did he have like the biggest brain fart ever when he realized that Thielen wasn't on the on the field for whatever play that he was gonna call? Like just like I mean that's almost as bad as Icky standing up. Huh? Huh? Dude, that might be like the highlight of the year for me. Just huh?
Bro,
Uh
I spit out my drink when you did that.
I mean, dang, Icky, I love you, man, but you're embarrassing yourself this season. Like,
You really are, dude. I love you as a person, but come on, bro.
not
Come
to
on, bro.
not to mention you graduated from NC State. That's in my hometown.
For real.
Therefore, I'm embarrassed. uh, oh man.
Oh my god, Dallas just got a 2-point conversion off of an extra point.
Oh wow. Christian McCaffrey scored again. Oh man, 9 carries, 51 yards, 2 touchdowns.
You're not gonna believe how Dallas got one of their touchdowns. Fumble and a scoop and score inside of the 20.
Oh wow.
Yep, fumble by the Patriots running back. Vander Esch
Dang.
was like, "Oh hey, look what I found." Untouched, walks right in. Big 280-pound guy just walks into the end zone.
Mm,
What are y'all doing, New England?
yeah, but hey, New England can
Good
suck it.
grief, man.
New England can suck it. I can't stand that team. Um,
Agreed. That was
Vietnam
hilarious.
Vietnam says not for long. He not. I really think that we're going 1-17 or 0-18. It shames me to say so. Honestly, bro, don't be surprised if it happens.
0-9 for sure.
Don't be surprised if it happens.
0-9 for
Um,
sure.
Vietnam says, "All right, y'all. I'm getting back on Elden Ring. Elden Ring. All right, bro. Enjoy. Thanks for stopping by as usual.
Yeah, I
But
appreciate it, man. Sometimes that's a lot more entertaining than these Panthers games.
yeah,
The way this season's going.
but
I don't blame you.
I can't believe that I'm saying this though. And maybe this is like cryptic or something, but as of now, only the Bears and Panthers are the only winless team left.
Wow.
Both 0-4.
And we're
Dude,
going to play them eventually.
Dude, if we end up getting to that game and
Oh,
both
wait,
teams are
what a
still
basket play.
winless, that's gonna be like the biggest joke game this season.
It really is. Whoever loses that one is going to be the joke of the league officially.
Yeah.
We better win that game, or I want Frank's job, man. I want his job at that point. The day of. I will not settle for anything less as a Panthers fan.
And it's already
How's
bad
it?
enough because that game will be in Soldier Field.
I was playing. Hmm.
Ugh. Yeah.
We don't win that game. Frank needs to go that day. Screw a press conference. Just pack your locker. Pack up your office and go. Just walk.
Oh my goodness! Christian
Not one of
McCaffrey
the
got a
exhibit.
receiving touchdown.
Hey, good for him.
This man has 2 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown. They're just like Brock Purdy's just like, oh, you want the ball? Yeah, here, sure. And now they're up 21-3 over the Cardinals. Oh man.
Goodness.
And McCaffrey's not even the leading receiver.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Arizona's terrible.
That is true. Uh see, Jacksonville beat Atlanta, Detroit beat Green Bay, which we got to play next.
Yep,
Um
Detroit's for real.
Buffalo beat Miami,
Hmm.
which Josh Allen had 4 touchdowns. Four
Yeah,
four
here's the
four
thing.
passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown.
Miami's defense does need a little bit of work. But that's Josh Allen just being Josh Allen.
Right.
Uh, what I was more concerned about, is the burnout from last week where, Miami just scored like 70 points. They're going to have a burnout and not do that much the next week. So that's why I was picking Buffalo to win that game, and I was right.
Yeah. Stephon Diggs.
I didn't count on the 48 for Buffalo, though.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs. 6 catches,
Hmm.
120 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs is real. He's
Oof.
the real deal.
Um
So heads up, keep an eye on the Chargers and Raiders game here. It's 24-7 Chargers, which I expected that to happen.
ooh.
Raiders are not playing that well right now, but usually when those division opponents play each other in that division, it's serious. Like
Mhm.
it usually ends up being for division title,
Ah, I see.
division title runs.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs hasn't really been the same in a while.
That's true.
Um but
Baltimore 28-3 over Cleveland.
the Rams did end up beating the Colts.
Yeah, that's not a good look for AR fans.
Yeah, well, the Colts, AR had he was 11 of 25, 200 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown.
Okay, so it's not AR confirmed.
Yeah, he had 10 carries for 56 yards in the rushing touchdown,
Yeah,
and
he's not the problem.
CJ Stroud, 16 of 30, 306 yards, 2 touchdowns, no
Oof.
interceptions. Even Devin Singletary came in and threw for a touchdown. Mm.
Hmm.
But uh, yeah, Panthers and the Bears are the only 0-4 team left.
Yep.
And the Eagles are the only undefeated team left. Or no, no, no,
Interesting.
no, no, no. San Fran, San Fran. I'm sorry.
San Fran. Yep.
Which looks like they
Actually,
may
the Eagles
be.
are undefeated too. Eagles are undefeated too.
Yeah, and it looks like San Fran is going to end up going 4-0. Um,
I would think so. Yes.
and
Let me see
apparently
what
the
their
McCaffrey
schedule looks
touchdowns,
like from here on.
the McCaffrey touchdowns were back to back to back.
Ooh.
Yeah. But oh man, just Tampa
And anybody
Bay.
that's got him is about to feast
Oh yeah,
in fantasy.
the Bucks 3-1, the Falcons and Saints 2-2.
Let me see what
Uh,
San Francisco's schedule looks like because I'm very interested in this.
oh, San
Um,
Francisco schedule.
yeah,
All right.
you got Arizona. That's a kind of a pushover right now. You got Dallas coming up. That's going to be a serious game right there. That's going to be
Oh,
good.
that's a Sunday nighter. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's prime time. That's going to be a good game.
Yep.
We'll probably be streaming late, so we'll end up like catching the beginning of that.
hmm
uh, because of our game. Then Cleveland. That should be a win for San Francisco.
hmm
Minnesota on Monday night. That's a win. Cincinnati. That's a win. Jacksonville will give them a real fight, man. That's going to be a good game right there
Yeah.
on the 12th of November.
hmm
Then you got Tampa Bay. That's a win. Seattle. I would say Seattle will give them a pretty good fight, but
Yeah.
they will win.
Uh,
Although there's always that chance that Seattle like pulls an upset in their own building.
true. True.
If it's in San Fran, then I pick San Fran to win clearly. But again, it's the Eagles' nest. It's nuts out there.
Um.
You got Philadelphia in between the two Seattle games. Philadelphia, that the battle of the unbeaten's at that point. I don't know what Philadelphia is going to look like towards week 13, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It'll be a good one. Arizona win, Baltimore at home win, Washington away win, and then the Rams to finish up win. I got San Francisco going heavily home field advantage in the playoffs here.
Yeah. I think home field is either going to be San Fran or Philly.
Yep. All right. So looking at Philly,
By the way, Mr. Gemini asked, "Do y'all think if Andy started today, we would have won?" Maybe.
maybe
I
I'm going to
mean,
say maybe because our offensive line is still going to look like trash either way,
right.
no matter what quarterback's in.
And the main reason I say maybe is because we weren't able to win last week with Andy.
Yeah. And that was against the 29th ranked secondary. This is a higher ranked secondary that we just played today. 20s. I mean, Andy would still put up like 300 or close to 300 yards. I would say
Yeah.
200 range, but it would still not be enough because our offensive line is trash right now. They're playing like trash anyway. They're not trash themselves, but they're playing like trash. Um, and there would be too much heat on Andy. He would not be able to get the ball off. He would just be throwing it away constantly. It would be bad.
Shout out to Panthers culture on X/Twitter. He
Yeah.
says, "How TF do you have a play that can only go to Thielen?" So you're telling me if Thielen is out as a wide receiver who runs a 4-7, this particular play cannot be ran. Nobody else on the team can run the route, not one other wide receiver. Hard reset now.
Ouch.
Dang.
Wow.
Dang. Sick
That
burn.
shows you how vanilla our offensive playbook is. That proves it right there.
Oh, news flash.
Mm-hmm.
Sources say that the Bears are looking to trade wide receiver Chase Claypool, and they're asking for a fifth or sixth round pick in return. Would y'all
Hmm.
entertain the idea of a Chase Claypool?
I mean, he's got some value, but I mean, what would we get in the fifth and sixth? If we didn't trade him, as far as a pick, what positions will we be looking at? That's one aspect to look at. Number two is he actually worth a fifth or a sixth? Are we getting a steal for this? Are we undervalued, overvalued? What's the value here? Uh,
Mr. Gemini says no.
um, yeah. So, and then the other thing to think about here is how much money and what's the scheme fit?
I
What are we
mean,
doing with him?
his rookie year was his best season, and that was 2020 with Pittsburgh. I mean,
What would we do with him? Like, what would be the plan?
it's another young body as well. I mean, he's only 25, tall, 6'4", 238. He was a second round pick. I mean,
We've got enough bodies. The problem is, like, what are we doing with them all?
yeah, that's the thing.
If we don't even know what we're doing with the ones we've got, even the point of trading for another one that we don't even know what to do with? Like, what's the point? What functionality do we have? I don't doubt that the value is correct, and the money's probably correct, but do we really want to give up like a position player that like a linebacker or a safety or a corner, that late that could help us, in place of that,
Right.
that's a temporary fix to our problem that we would probably lose in the offseason anyway because we have way too much money taxed into this roster already.
Also, doesn't he
Would
have
we just
like
use him and toss him? You know?
doesn't he also have an
No.
attitude problem?
Ooh, good point.
If I remember correctly, this dude kind of has an attitude problem,
Yep.
and he's never really been a number one. Like I said, he had a great rookie year. He had a
Yeah.
great rookie year, but
Hmm.
that's about it.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I don't know if I'd entertain that idea.
Me neither. These people that are saying, "Oh, we're just like one player away." No, we're not. We're not at all. We have the players right now. Use what we've got. Use them or lose them. That's my stake on this right now. You put $70 million into this beautiful roster that's probably the second best that we've ever created, and you're not even gonna figure out how to use them correctly. What a waste!
there's
What a total waste!
there's a meme on Twitter of a crying child, and it says Bryce Young when he gets another screenplay in his helmet from Frank Reich. Ugh.
Oh,
I
this
mean,
is why I don't go on Twitter for this stuff, man. I really don't, especially when we're losing, because all you're gonna find is just a bunch of chaos and nonsense, and it's just depressing at this point.
oh, so check this out. According to the NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport,
Mhm.
the Panthers are actively pursuing a trade for a starting receiver, and they may also be on the lookout for a new safety.
Because of Woods getting hurt.
True.
Okay, didn't you just draft this safety?
Yeah, Jamie Robinson. Yeah, where has he been anyway?
And what about our wide receivers that we already have? Open the playbook to them. Come
Miss
on,
Mr. Gemini says we should have used
we
Laviska
don't need
Chenault more.
anything.
Um, Joe Valesco says Andy Dalton should start the next game. Here's the thing, Joe Valesco. I mean, we already have Bryce out here. I mean, it's not looking like the season is going to go our way so far.
Yeah,
I
might as well
mean,
get
you
the
might
experience.
you might as well keep him out there and have him learn, take his
Yeah,
shots, and take his bumps and bruises and learn.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because they already have him out there right now.
yeah.
Like it doesn't really make a lot of sense to have him out there for a while and then just bench him for the rest of the season, especially if he's not hurt. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
that'll stifle growth. That'll stifle
Yep.
growth.
Yep.
So I mean, I would agree with you if Andy Dalton started game one, but Bryce is 3 in right now.
Hmm.
So I mean, you might as well keep him going and let him learn.
Yeah.
Just saying, just saying.
Hmm.
But uh, well, Detroit's next.
And yet another non-appearance of DJ Johnson, by the way.
Yep. And we go from Thielen's old team to Chark's old team.
Yep.
Oh man.
And we're about to lose to both of them.
Jeez. Uh,
This ain't good.
no.
This is not what I envisioned this year when I looked at that roster on paper. Not at all.
Oh man.
I mean, I'll be the first to admit I'm eating crow on Andy Dalton.
Same. Same.
I was not buying into him at all, but he actually does look like Andy. So sometimes when I'm wrong, it helps the team.
Yeah. I mean, dude had me looking like a fool. I don't know about
Yeah.
anybody else, but he had me looking like a fool.
And then Miles Sanders, I was hyping up because I thought Miles Sanders was about to blow up this year, and then eh, you know.
Yeah, just like the
So
executing
I
is
was just
just
like, what is going on here? It's like flip flop. It's a bunch of flip flop of what you would expect to happen, and it's not happening, and you're just going, huh? It's like why? You know? Uh,
yeah. And there are folks online talking about the hit on Bryce, even though it was a false start, but that the guy still ran through and hit Bryce.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That should have been flagged.
that honestly should have been flagged
Yep. Mm-hmm.
because he it
Not in
was
the passer.
because it was the play was over and he was defenseless.
Yeah. You can't tell me Hill didn't hear that whistle. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it.
Not to mention everybody else stopped and he was the one that was still going.
Yeah. Everybody else heard it, bro. Except you? No. Either you need some hearing aids or come on, man.
Not to mention he was clearly still going at full speed.
Oh yeah. They got Greg Olson in the commentator booth for this Dallas game.
Oh, for real.
Yep.
But I gotta get ready for my dad to come over for some pro wrestling. Final
Cool.
thoughts. What you got?
I mean, this is only going to get better if we get rid of the root of the problem, which is Frank. If and it's only going to get better if we start admitting we have a problem.
Yep.
And a lot of fans can't admit that we have a problem. They can't admit what the problem really is. It started to look like politics, really, when you start to listen to some of these conversations. And there's going to be more of them this week. What I'm asking people to do is to stay calm, don't attack one another, and just keep pounding through it. Because, we should be used to these losses by now. We should be used to what we're doing with. It's nothing new. But no, my point ultimately is we shouldn't be used to these losses. We need to start making progress. And the only way to do that is to solve the root of the problem. And you know, I I hate it for the players that are playing their heart out and just wasting good years of their careers here, only to see it go down the drain.
Right.
And it really breaks my heart for those players. And I just they give their heart, their blood, their sweat, their tears, to this organization, everything they have. They even take pay cuts for us, restructured their deals for us, for all of this. And it's just a doggone shame we can't deliver.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is where we are until we start deciding this is how we're going to solve the problem and we start getting proactive about it. Otherwise, we're just going to keep repeating the same issues and keep spinning the same wheels. So, it's up to you, Frank. It's up to you, Mr. Tepper. What do you want to do about Frank? Do you want him to stay here and continue the mediocrity? You know, or do you want to solve the problem? And do you want to move on and try to find somebody new? And I mean, Mr. Tepper is part of the problem. This is 0 for 3 now. If he fails again, we're gonna start questioning him as an owner
Yep.
and telling him they should probably sell the team
Yep.
because fans will have had enough by that point. I'm surprised they're not breaking down the gates of Boa by now already after the last 2 years. Now this, oh wow, like there should be like people up there with pitchforks by now and signs.
Seriously.
I mean, it's gotten that bad. So I'm just asking the fan base, be patient. We have the talent. We have the skill players. We just have to figure out how to use them. We have to figure out what we want to do. What's our game plan? What are we trying to accomplish? What's set up a goals list,
Hmm.
and do it. Don't just talk about it, do it.
Do it.
You know, eh, that's something. Start fixing your problems. Don't
Agreed.
sit on them. Don't sit on them. Solve them. Because otherwise they're just going to fester and they're going to become more of an infection. And it's going to get worse and worse, and we're going to have injured defensive players. Oh, wait, we already do.
Yeah.
Because everybody has to do double duty because of people that failed to do their job correctly. And it all stems back to Frank. All of it. So you can deny it all you want, fans, but let's be realistic here. We all know the source of the problem. You can deny it to the moon. But if we don't start solving these problems, we're right back where we started.
Yep.
Stop fighting with one another and start coming up with solutions. All I hear is complaints, 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 complaints from everybody. Come up with solutions. Even if they get thrown out, thrown out by somebody, at least you came up with a solution. At least you came up with an idea. I welcome that. Bring them on in, you know,
Hmm.
to my channel. I'll listen to them all. I'll hear you all out.
Good food for
Yeah.
thought. Good food for thought.
Yeah.
I'll say this. It's going to be a long season, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, Frank Wright, I'm losing so much hope in you as a head coach. I know that you're a man of God. I know that you have been a minister and all that. That's awesome. But it's starting to look like maybe head coaching ain't for you.
Right. This is
Um,
football, man.
and not only that, you're one of the big reasons why this offense looks the way it is. You're not the only reason, but you are a big reason.
Hmm.
Look, swallow your pride and hand the clipboard over to Thomas Brown. You just made,
Please.
you just embarrassed yourself during the post-game press conference. Do the right thing before you make it worse. Hand over the clipboard. If you want to stick around, fine, but hand over the clipboard. Please.
Agreed.
Just don't think twice. Hand over that clipboard. And we need some extra focus on team discipline, especially
Right.
on the offense.
Hmm.
Like, if y'all want to have any chance of no longer being the laughing stock of the NFL, y'all need to get it together and y'all need to show us something that we have not seen yet this season in this upcoming Detroit game. Because as I am predicting, we are definitely the underdogs and we definitely won't be favored to even come close to winning this game.
Yeah.
So y'all need to figure it out, do whatever it is y'all have to do, and come back. This time we're going on the road again, enemy territory.
Hmm.
It's already bad enough we can't win a game at home, but here we go. 2-game road trip before the bye. Y'all need to figure it out
Yeah.
and fast.
Hmm.
Otherwise, you're going to lose the entire fan base. I mean, there's already a good chunk of it that's lost hope. And while I'm not there yet, I totally understand why they feel that way.
Hmm.
So, y'all need
Agreed.
to y'all need to get it together, figure stuff out, and come back against Detroit and show us something. Show us
Right.
that y'all actually still care about trying to win games
Facts.
and stop saying it, show it.
Facts.
I mean, I keep getting tired of hearing we're just not playing good football. We're just not playing good football. We know that. We see that.
Right.
We see that.
No kidding, Sherlock.
So
Telling us anything we don't know.
so do something about it.
Right. Find a solution.
You know what's wrong. Fix it.
Right. And I have no problem with Frank staying, as long as like he hands over the clipboard.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
good for us, as far as all the stuff that he's talking about, it's great. Oh, we're gonna be constructive football team, we're gonna be this and this and this and that. But okay, where is the action? Glorified car salesman.
Yep, pretty much. But once again, Carolina Panthers lose 4 straight, 24-13 Minnesota. Oh, we will try it again next Sunday against the Detroit Lions. But that will do it for this live stream. I want to thank my good friend Corey of Keep Pounding for coming through. Um, Shout out to Mr.
Absolutely.
Carolina. He was dealing with a family emergency. Keep him lifting up in your prayers. Hopefully, he will join back with us soon as he can. Also, don't forget to check out the link in the description for Game Beauty. Definitely take a look at that if you're interested in some cool video game themed makeup and cosmetic products. Uh, and yeah, we'll try this again. But Corey, let them know where they can find you.
Keep pounding in all caps on YouTube. If you don't find me there, check out the Facebook group page. Keep pounding in all caps. That's usually the best way to find me because the YouTube search algorithm doesn't usually pop up the name of my channel right away. So I've had people tell me that.
Oh, you heard the man. So govern yourselves accordingly to those
Give us
instructions.
some likes and subs if you want to. They're free.
Yes, they are. They're free and they're easy, so don't
Yep.
hesitate.
Support all the Panthers YouTubers out there. C3, Black Cat Panther podcast. All these guys, man. Give them some love, man. Give them some likes. Give them some subs. Support these guys. They put their hours in all of this work in for you.
Indeed. Do show that love continuously as much as
And show
possible.
love to each other as Panthers fans, please.
Yeah, we need this,
Be respectful
especially
of each other.
especially during a time like this for sure.
Yeah.
But this has been another Carolina Panthers Talk live stream brought to you by Keep Pounding Podcast and Blitzball Champ Gaming. We are your hosts, Blitzball Champ, and
Keep pounding.
we will catch y'all in the next video and or live stream. Stay positive, keep pounding no matter what. We're going to get through this. Everybody enjoy the rest of
All
their
right.
Sunday, and we will see y'all soon.